Souldies.com. Órale.
And now a word from our sponsors.
SoCal Solar Shine. At SoCal Solar Shine, we specialize in professional solar panel cleaning. Our mission is to maximize the efficiency and lifespan of your solar energy system by removing dust, debris, and grime that accumulate over time. With over 15 years of experience, our trained technicians use advanced cleaning techniques and filtration systems to ensure your panels are restored properly and operating at peak performance. We offer flexible scheduling and competitive pricing. No job too big or too small. Call or text 310-259-3840. Again, 310-259-3840 for a free estimate. Bringing the Southern California sun back to your panels.
What's up, everybody? It is I, of course, your girl, Miss Crystal Marie from Varrio Love Oldies, and it is truly an honor. We're back here with episode number 10, and I have none other than Miriah Avila. Thank you so much for being here. It truly is an honor, and I'm super, super excited about this interview. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. Episode 10, huh?
Yes, episode 10, girl.
I'm working number 10.
Yes, you are.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I love it.
Yeah, and it's so crazy the way it worked out because we did have somebody scheduled. They ended up rescheduling, and we were just talking, right? We had just reached out and we're networking. We're like, okay, maybe until September, right? That's when we had initially said because we're booked up all the way until September.
Yes.
And then so it opened up. I was like, you know what? It was supposed to be like that. That's why that happened, because she was supposed to be on. Because even when we reached out, we're like, man, I feel bad all the way until September. But,
yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, so to me, it's like, you know what? There's a reason why that happened. And she's meant to be on episode 10. So thank you so
cool.
much.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
And
yes.
giving me the opportunity to share some stories and interviews and what's in store for me. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it. Do you want to tell us where you're from? Where were you born and raised?
Okay, so I was born in Hollywood.
Girl.
I got raised here in the city of La Puente.
Okay.
That's pretty close to Whittier, West Covina. It's a small little city right here in La Puente. Been here pretty much my whole life. And yeah, I started singing at a very young age, 6. I started singing at 6, but out in public at 7 years old.
Wow. And so you were you were raised in La Puente. What was your upbringing like in your home? Were you raised with siblings, your mom, your dad?
Yeah, so I'm a family of 6. I have
wow.
brothers, and then I have an older sister. Then it's myself, and then I have a little sister. And my mom is a single mom. She raised all of us.
Wow.
So mom had to play dad and mom.
Wow.
And that's one strong-ass woman.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just amazing how she is, raising. First she raised 3 boys, and then there was the girls.
Yeah.
So, you know what? A lot of people ask me, because my dad left when I was pretty young, and, they asked, oh, did you ever, have any kind of, issues, or, did it, what do I want to say, did it,
affect you?
Yes. And, I was like, my mom did such a good job of raising us. And she made it so, if nothing, and plus, my career started off really young. I was 6 years old, so music saved that too. I didn't think about, I don't have my father's not in my life, She just did such a great job at and making sure that we were busy, and she had us on check. She still has us on check.
That's so dope. And you know what? It's crazy because I recently ran across a quote that said it was something about clapping loud enough so that it said something like, thank you for clapping loud enough for me not to noticed that nobody else was clapping or something like that. But that's so crazy, like how your mom did such an amazing job being present, juggling her 6 kids, on top of that, keeping her home afloat, but still to be able to make you feel, that you had all the support, lacking none. Right. That's so dope. Like, that just speaks volumes about her.
So I have to say thank you to her for, being there and not giving up, and most importantly, pushing me to the dreams that I wanted to, to accomplish, especially singing and music. She heard me and she's like, girl, you have talent, Most parents, their children have talent and they don't, not all, but some, they don't, tell them to pursue it. It's kind of like, it's a hobby, but my mom was like, nope, you're going to do it. Okay. And I remember as a little girl, I was 7 years old. She's like, is this what you want to do, mija? Do you want to sing? And I'm like, yes. And there she went in. She just went in.
Wow.
And so if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have the career that I have right now.
For sure. So shout out to Mama. Thank you for raising such an amazing, talented young woman. But how was so then you grew up with 3 brothers, and then it's you and your little sister? Oh, no, you said you do have an older sister, right? Or
I have an older sister, and then I have a little sister.
Oh, so you're the middle. You're the middle girl.
I'm the middle child.
Oh, wow. So how was your upbringing at home? Like, your mom being a single working mom, and then it was like your siblings. How was that in your house?
It was pretty normal. Like, we all had chores. We all had to, get along, and it was very family. Wow. I don't remember it being like, something different, or, siblings don't get along. We all grew up just under the same house, and that's my brother, that's my sister, so it was pretty normal. And like I said, we all had chores. The boys would come outside and do the lawn, and we would be inside cleaning the walls.
Wow. So very responsible, like doing chores. Wow.
Chores and stuff, and it was cool. And like holidays, it was family.
Yeah.
Family thing. And of course, music was a big thing. My mom, so I originally, my mom grew up in LA, and I just remember her playing a lot of oldies too as a kid. I've said this before, but she owned an Astro van.
Wow.
So I remember listening to the Art Labos, and my mom's so dope because, we have family in LA, and she's like, do you want to take the freeway home, or you want to cruise it? That's what she would tell us. And we were like, oh, let's cruise it. So we would drive on the way home, like down Whittier Boulevard and all that, and we would listen to oldies, and that I remember that as a kid. So it was pretty normal, And my brothers all loved music. My older brother was he was into rap, and then he was into oldies, and then he would change into Spanish, and none of us speak Spanish. So,
really?
Yeah, my mother does. My mom's originally from San Antonio, Texas. So she's a Tex-Mex,
Yeah.
And, so yeah, she would put on music. So when I started singing at a young age, I first started singing mariachi music.
No way.
My mom wanted me to pretty much stick to my roots. And I was like, how the hell am I going to do that?
I was going to ask that. How, girl? You didn't even know Spanish. How did you do it?
I was learning how to read in English.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. So you were, you were learning, so you didn't know how, did you read Spanish? Did you learn how to read it first or speak it first?
No.
Or how?
So my grandmother is from Texas as well, and she's a singer, songwriter, and singer. So
wow,
she was one that was like, she should sing mariachi music first. And
okay.
So my mom and my grandma would help me with how to read these Spanish songs. So my mom did it old school way. She would write out the words, and then you would just practice them and practice them and practice them. And then it came to a point where I just memorized it.
Wow.
So that's the story of singing in Spanish. And that was just pretty normal. My family was normal. My mom took me everywhere to sing. I did a lot of charity stuff as a kid, and my grandma would come down from Texas, and she was right there with me, and it was normal. My life was just pretty normal, very family orientated, and it was cool. It was cool.
It's so dope. And so you were raised like basically listening to all kinds of music, not just oldies, but your Spanish, everything. That's so cool. Do you remember like certain songs like that remind you of your childhood, like oldies? Like you would hear, like that's the one.
So the reason why I did the version of Mary Wells and Smokey, I Want You Around, was because of the memory of the Astro van.
Wow, cruising with your mom.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And that song coming on, and that's the memory that I remember. Being in the Astro van, in the burgundy Astro van, and listening to that song on the way home. So that's why I wanted to do that song, I Want You Around.
So that's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So that's it. And Hypnotized was the first oldie that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Because what Jones in that song was like, at first I was like, damn, that's a really good song. And then as I got older, I was like, dang.
That's deep.
Like,
yeah.
She's like really in love, but damn, she's hurt. Like, you know, who hurt her?
Yeah. So, yeah, I love that song. It's so dope. I like Linda Jones. She has such a raw voice, huh? Like if you hear other songs and just Hypnotize, she has such a raw voice.
Yeah, she has another song that I really like.
Which one?
What have I done?
Yeah. Oh, girl, I stay playing that song.
She does this thing on her, like right in the beginning. She goes, oh, she does that, and it's just like, oh my god, like who hurt her? Like, who did this to her? I want to know.
Let's find out.
She does like all these crazy, like cool runs, and it's like, I can't do that. I'm like, no, hell no, I can't do that. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just one of those things. She has a great voice, and she actually like looked into more like in her career, and she passed away at a very young age.
Really? How old was she when she passed away?
I think she was like 25.
No way. Did you find out why or how?
Diabetic.
Oh no.
And probably in those days they just were just going crazy, you know, like drinking,
I'm sure.
You know, and yeah, she passed at a very young age. So, and I wish she would have done more music, but she did, but not music that you hear like on the radio.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the underground stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love, that's what I'll do. Like, that's actually how I got into Barbara Mason. I actually just researching her, right? Like, who is this? What else does she sing? But Linda Jones actually was another one that I did kind of like, I didn't research like to that extent, like about her life, but just like hearing other songs that she did. And I have to say she is a great artist, besides, Hypnotize and other stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. So do you feel like her voice like influenced, or was it more like just mariachi is what more influenced your vocals?
I think mariachi music was a nice prep for me because the power from my voice, that's where that mariachi comes into place. Then like when I started singing oldie stuff, it was more just adding my own twist to things and my own style. So I definitely think like when I sing that, you call it a powerhouse. Like I'm a powerhouse, you know. It's just a strong vocal, and I think singing mariachi definitely helped me hit those bigger notes and you know, those longer notes and stuff. So yeah, I think that's where the mariachi came into place and you know, helped me out with my vocal range and stuff. So that was cool. But you know, I did a lot of TV shows as well as a kid and Spanish shows. So I was on like El Chiqui Show, I was on Cuanta Cuesta el Show, I was on Tengo Mucho Talento.
Wow.
Always you know, my mom was like, no, mija, you're gonna do it. And I was like, how am I gonna do this, you know? And I was like, the judges speak Spanish. How am I gonna do this?
You're just like, see.
Yes, oh girl. Yes. Mom was one of those moms where she recorded everything. So like all these tapes. She has a tape, my first recital. She has tapes as home, like here at the house, and like especially like the early Miriah. Like I was barely learning how to sing, and she would record me and everything. So she's like, "Don't maybe bring out these tapes because you know you got Miriah." I'm like, "No, please, that's embarrassing."
That's so embarrassing. Yeah, I was just saying, oh my god! But how did you find out? Like, you know, I have a talent. Like how, you know, because I know like, you know, others can discover like, okay, you know, I have talent, but you yourself, you're like, wait, maybe I can sing. When did you discover that within yourself? Like, maybe I have a voice.
Well, I've always liked music, and you know, I was born in '91, so watching like cartoons and you know, Barney was like the ish.
My favorite show at the time.
Love that show.
Yeah.
And, I would sing along to like all the little, you know, the music from the cartoons and stuff. And, you know, I've always liked to sing. And one time my mom was cleaning her house and she was upset about something. I don't remember. So I told my sisters, I was like, let's put on a show for mom. You know, let's do something for mom. And at the time, that's when Selena had just barely, she passed away. So, you know, when Selena passed away, she really blew up, you know. And I remember having her cassettes, and my mom would just play them and play it and play it and play it. So I told my sisters, I was like, hey, you know, mom's a little mad. I think we should put on a show for her, like a little talent show for her. I think she would really like that. So my older sister and my little sister, we were talking I was 6 years old, and my little sister was 4. Yeah, she was 4. And my other sister, she was like in her teens. So we went out there with our rolled up t-shirts and our rolled up little shorts, pretending that we're Selena. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, we have a show for you. And my mom's like, you know, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with you?
Sáquense de aquí, I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. Don't you get busy?
Yeah.
So she sat down, and it's so cute because my sister and I, we were like trying to rehearse Bidi Bidi Bom Bom in the bedroom before we went up to perform for her. So we put on the tape or whatever, and then we walked out, and I was like, okay, we're going to sing Bidi Bidi Bom Bom. I'm Selena, these are my backup singers.
Yeah.
And I started singing it, and then, you know, when Selena does that really high, that part?
Yeah.
I did it, and my mom's face, like, she was like, what the hell? And she stopped me. She said, stop. She's like, do that again. And I'm like, okay. And I did it, and she was like, oh my God, you could sing. And like, she literally stopped the whole damn show that we were trying to put on for her. And called my grandma in Texas, and she's like, Mom, Miriah could sing. Not my grandma saying, oh, mija, all little girls could sing.
Your grandma, she didn't even know, huh?
All little girls could sing. She's like, no, Mom, listen to me. Listen to this. Listen, Miriah, sing. And so then I started singing. She's like, wow. Okay, I'm on my way over there. My grandma booked a Greyhound, because that's when the Greyhound was happening too, to come to California. And she was here the following weekend.
And your grandma sings, you said, though, right? She's a songwriter and she sings. Did she perform?
No, you know what? Like, she was really shy. She was really, she was kind of behind the scenes. Like, she write. She likes to sing, but she wrote for other people. She actually has 45.
Wow.
I ran into the 45s, but they were in Spanish. So she wrote for a pretty known mariachi singer out in San Antonio, and he pressed those vinyls, and I found them. I found them and put them, and and it's crazy because it says her name on the vinyl. And I'm like, that is so dope. You know, that's so cool.
You're like, that's my nana.
That's my mom. Yeah. So my mom was here. She came. She had to see it for herself. It was like a crazy thing. And my mom, that's what she asked me. Do you really want to do this? And I'm like, I want to. You know, here I am, 6 years old. You know? Yes. And that's how it kicked off. And I'm telling you, my mom was just very, like, she was on me about singing. Like, no, you have to go out there. You have to practice. And as a kid, like, I don't want to practice. I want to play. I want to, go outside and hang out. And she's like, no, you have to practice. And a memory was, the practicing was, she came outside to water the grass. And she's like, Miriah, when are you going to practice? I'm like, Ma, I don't want to. She's like, no, you're going to practice out here, outside. I'm like, outside? You're watering the grass? Goodness. And here all the neighbors come out, and, here I am.
Yeah. Did your mom have, like, experience, like, with singing?
No.
No?
No experience. My mom, nope, nothing. It's just experience that my grandma had.
Yeah.
But nothing too crazy. Like, my grandma, she sang, but more behind the scenes, She was more of a writer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but my mom and my grandmother were, like, pretty on it with me with singing. They definitely saw, this little girl thing. She just found, really believed in me. So, I would come out here in the front lawn and sing for my neighbors.
Yeah. And so, like, growing up, that knowing, like, hey, I have this talent, how was that like, going to school, like, knowing, like, you were already special, like, you went into school knowing, like, hey, like, there's something special about me, like, I have a talent. How was that?
As a kid, like, I was more just quiet.
Oh, okay.
Didn't about singing. Nobody knew that I could sing. And, once in a while, I would get the kid like, hey, I saw you on TV.
Yeah.
I saw you on TV. And I was like, no, that's not me. I think I was more scared of, like, kids making fun of me. And, like, because it was different. It was very different. And, kids can be really harsh.
Oh, yes, they can.
So I didn't want to be the center of attention. I kept that like a semi-secret till I was a junior in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's because a PE teacher knew that I sang. And she was like, you're auditioning for the choir, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, no. And she's like, no, you should. And I'm like, and she like forced me to change perspective and get into choir. So I auditioned for choir, and the teacher knew that I had I sang, and I told him, like, don't say nothing, like, I'm not, I don't want to be that kind of a thing. And I did choir for like my freshman year, my sophomore year, and then my junior year. All of us kids, we had just did like a recital thing, and each kid was taking a turn on a song, and they're like, Miriah, aren't you gonna sing? I'm like, oh no. Oh, come on. I'm like, no. You're gonna do it. And I was like, okay. And then I did it. I sang the song, and they were like, what the heck? How come you never sang?
What song was it? Do you remember?
How was that?
Do you remember what song it was that you sang?
It was a Kelly Clarkson song.
Really?
Oh my God, it was her American Idol song. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
But the song.
One of Kelly Clarkson songs.
Yeah, one of Kelly Clarkson's songs. A moment like this. A moment like this.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, I did that song, and they were like, what the hell? You know how to sing? Oh my God! From that day, I was singing at the basketball games, the football games, all the freaking rallies. I sang at my own graduation. Like,
really?
It became like, oh, Miriah could sing. I'm like, oh Lord. But you know what? Those are cool memories too. But I was so scared. I was scared of what other kids would say. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I kept quiet.
So after, so you graduated singing you graduated singing at your graduation, but after that, did you say like, okay, I'm going to take this serious? How did you go in from like, hey, I'm just trying to, just sing to like, I want to make this into a career?
Okay. So after high school, like so singing has been in my life forever, and I started making money at a very young age as well. I was 7 years old already making money. So that was kind of like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to, as a 7-year-old, I was like, no, I'm going to become I'm going to be a singer. I could say where I learned a lot was when I graduated high school. I went into a community college in Glendora called Citrus College, and they have a great music program there. And I originally went in to be part of the choir and like theater, okay? Mm-hmm. Because my teacher from high school went there as well, and he was like, "You need to join the theater program. It's great." Well, I didn't make the theater program, okay? They put me in something else. They put me into a pop rock.
A pop rock?
Yes, which is like more like cover band.
Yeah.
Okay, like they perform more like top 40 music and stuff like that. And I was kind of like about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try salsa band. I'm gonna do that. And, I know, right?
Yeah.
I am going back to Spanish. So the professor there was like, no, you need to be in pop rock. You need to do this. And I'm like, well, like, what is it going to do for me, you know? And then actually finding out, like, more into detail of what they do, they go on tour. They go to, like, Japan, they go to Hawaii, they go to all these different places. And if you so pop rock is, it's a 3 different type of band. So it's, like, the bottom, which is the beginning, pop rock 2, which is, like, the middle, and then pop rock 1 is the band that goes out and tours. So he put me, because I had barely started college, I don't know a damn thing about this, program, and he put me in 2. So I said, okay, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to really take this serious, because I want to travel. I want to go out, and I want to go to Hawaii for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really put everything into that, and I learned a lot. I learned how to do backup, how to sing harmonies, how to blend with other singers. I had a one-on-one coach with me. I learned how to sing opera for a little bit. I learned, I was in a songwriting class. Like, they put me in through all these classes, and I just soaked it up like a sponge, because, I was so dedicated to making that pop rock 1, because I wanted to go out and tour. And it wasn't a couple of days. We're talking like a whole month.
Wow.
Of touring. So I re-auditioned, and I got in, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I got to go to Hawaii for a whole month. And
wow.
So what they do is they hire the Citrus College to do the entertainment there at the Hyatt Resort in Maui.
Oh, okay.
So we were like the performers there at the resort. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and they hooked us up. Like, they gave us a per diem check to go buy clothes, go buy whatever we wanted to take to Hawaii, and then they gave us money there for Hawaii, to spend, to eat, and yeah, we were like an employee there at the Hyatt Resort. But we sang.
That's so dope.
It was so much fun. It was my first time ever getting on a plane.
Oh my goodness, that's so scary in itself.
out. My mom was freaking out. She was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna be gone for a month." I had never been that away from my family like that for a whole month. My mom was like, "Make sure you call me when you land. Make sure you call me when you know." And yeah, she was freaking out. She gave me an extra cell phone
in case this one dies.
And you know what? Either she freaking knew that my cell phone was gonna break because it broke that day.
Wow, intuition, mama intuition. That's what that was.
And I had another phone. They hooked me up with another an Android phone, and I was like, "You bruja or something, something."
Yeah.
And I'm so glad she did that for me because my phone broke, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how did
she's
she know
smart.
that?"
Mamas know best.
So my mom was so freaking out, and then I did all of that, and then I went back to school to join the jazz band, and it was the jazz orchestra band, and I really enjoyed that a lot. I really enjoyed it. I felt like, because I'm not a pop singer, I'm more I'm a soul singer, and I felt with jazz, it was more suiting to my voice, and I learned another whole different music thing with jazz music, and I went on tour again because I had so much time. Except we went to, instead of Maui, we went to Waikiki, and we were there too, and it was just so much fun. It was a lot of fun, and
especially at such a young age, huh? Being able to travel that young,
Yeah, I wasn't enough to drink.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and and then I was cool with it, and then I had my son. My son's 10 years old now, and when I had him, I stopped singing. I stopped singing for almost a year, and his dad and I, we didn't work out, so I was just pretty devastated. And
how old are you?
I had to start when I was 22.
Wow.
So I was already 22 when we split. So my mom.
Was that your first heartbreak?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
that was.
Oh,
her.
girl, I'm so sorry. I hate that. I hate heartbreak.
That one, especially because we have a son together. So that one hurt me. But you know what? Things happen for a reason, and God's timing is everything.
Yeah.
So I always say, Josiah, my son, he came at a perfect time for me.
Yeah.
At a perfect time, because I turned 21 in October, and and then I got pregnant, and I was like, what the heck? I just turned 21,
Yeah.
And then my son really young, and I'm just saying he showed up at a perfect time for me. So, his dad and I split, and I was pretty devastated, and I wasn't singing. I took a whole year off. One, because I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to get to experience all of the beginning stages. Not saying that I didn't have opportunity to sing and to join bands and to do this, but I did one gig, and I was like, I can't do this, because my son was barely 2 months old, and I was like, I can't. I have to be at home. I need to be there with my son. And he's just a baby,
Yeah.
I couldn't just. So I took the whole year off, and then when we split, my mom was like, "Girl, you better do something." One, because you get out of this funk. Two, because it's just you and your son, and you need to go out there and do what you're good at doing, which is singing. I'm like, and so you're in that mindset. You're like, oh my God, Mom, please, I don't want to deal right now. And once again, Mom at the rescue. She was so cute. She would take me out because she knew that I was, hurting. And she would take me to the farmer's market so we could walk around. She would take me to the mall. She would do all this stuff for me. And we went to the farmer's market here in La Puente one day, and there was a cover band singing. And not my mom saying, oh my God, that singer's not very good. I'm like, Mom.
It's not like my baby.
Yeah. Like, you should go up there. I'm like, Mom, they have singers.
Yeah.
They have singers. She's like, no, this is something that you should be doing. And I'm like, okay, like, leave it alone. Not my mom going over there and talking to the manager of the band. I thought her sing. No, she could really sing. You know, she was so persistent. Yeah. And I was like, Mom, what are you doing? So the guy was like, okay, you know, give your information to the owner of the band. I looked them up. Very known cover band here in the SUV area. They have been a band for like over 20 years and pretty established as a cover band, you know? So that made me like, oh, heck yeah, I really need to do this. You know, they're a working band and that's what I need right now, you know? Yeah. Just to get my foot back into singing. And they were all older cats, so I knew I was going to learn because they were already experienced and, you know, they'd done all that. I was only 23 when I done that. So the leader of the band hit me up and we did an audition. I did the audition and they were like, so are you available this weekend? I'm like, yeah. And it was all the stuff that I knew, like Selena, Shaka Khan, like, you know, stuff that I grew up listening to. So I went in there and I just you know, did my thing and they were like, wow, you can sing. And that weekend they had like a 3-day gigs, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I had to learn like 40 songs and like a couple of days to get through those gigs. And it was crazy. They were like, yeah, can you do it? I'm like, yeah. And they just motivated me to really just kick butt in that band. And it was actually my first time singing there at the Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet.
And do you remember what that feeling was like the first time that you actually performed like that?
I felt like it was deja vu for me because when I was a kid, I used to sing there at the swap meet.
You used to sing at the Santa Fe swap meet?
Yes, as a little girl.
No way.
My mom put me in a couple of competitions there at the Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet. And I felt like it was in deja vu. Like, it was the craziest thing. I was like, oh, but I was really young. I was like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. Yeah. Here I am as a 23-year-old singer, and I'm like on stage, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is deja vu. Yeah. You know, and they hadn't remodeled yet, so it was like the old Santa Fe Spring Swap Meet. So, cool. I had a lot of fun. And I was like, dang, I guess I'm part of the band. And I was with Suave for 6 years. 5 years. That's
so cool. That's so dope. So how did you go from being in Suave to like solo?
So I used to sing backup for Rocky Padilla.
Okay. And
Rocky Padilla was doing a gig at the Quiet Canyon in Montebello. And we were back. I was backup for him, and I was also backup for the Love Life, Garden Green, like all these legendary singers. And my label saw me that day, and they were like, "Wow, this girl can sing." And then they hit up Rocky Padilla, and they're like, "So, who's this girl?" Like, "Oh, that's my outfit. She sings da." And they're like, "Wow, she could really sing," and that's how it all kicked off.
Wow. And how did you feel like when they reached out to you, like a record label? Because that's like different.
I was like, you know, because we practically did this together as a team because they were barely coming up as well. And we literally took a chance on each other. That's how we did it. And I just felt there was so many things in common with my boss, DJ Cazell. He grew up here in La Puente. He knows a lot of people that I know. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like, it felt like a home thing. Like, okay, this is supposed to happen. There's too many connections, you know? Yeah. That's what made me feel comfortable. Because I was like, damn, he's from La Puente. His family's from La Puente. They live down the street from my house. Like, how cool is that?
Wow.
You know what I mean? it was supposed to happen. So I didn't think it was going to turn out something like this. I was just like, what do I have to lose? You know, like, so when I got signed, I was 26 or 27. I was 27. I was like, what do I have to lose? Like, I have nothing to lose. I sing with the band, and, you know, I kind of took it as in, like, what if the band falls apart? You know? What if something happens? Like, what am I going to do? Or, you know, and I felt like, what if this opportunity never comes again? You know? So I said, it's better for me to do it, and it doesn't turn out something, you know, well, than for me to not take it and be like, dang, what if I would have done that? What if I would have done that? You know? So I took the chance, and I said, oh, you know, we'll see what happens. Girl, well, did I did not expect.
You messed around and found out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Because you've grown, right? Done so much.
Tremendously, you know, and there has been a lot of, you know, parts in my career I'm like, dang, like, why isn't this happening? Or why did it take that? Or, you know what I mean? And like I said, God's timing is everything, you know? And especially when the pandemic hit, oh my God, I was like, geez, you know, I can't catch a break here. You know, I was already with ING, and I was already in a year, over a year with them, and because Hypnotize already came out, and Agree to Disagree had just came out as well, and the pandemic hit, and I'm like, they're literally, like, when, I don't know if you remember, but like the next day, all of the entertainers in the industry, we all lost our gigs, like literally that day. And I was like, dude, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And my vinyl came out for Agree to Disagree, and I felt with the pandemic, and because everybody was home and everybody was listening to the new music and on social media, obviously, and more on YouTube, that my career went up. So my singles, they took off during the pandemic. Agree to Disagree was just like, everybody knew the song. It was the most thing. Everybody knew it. They were like, oh, this is a cool song, you know? And it did really well. It did really well. And so I want to say, like, the pandemic did help with my career of getting Agree to Disagree and more of my original songs known. Not that getting gigs because we couldn't go out, but it really helped with my career and the label. It kind of gave us a little, you know, a face of recognition of like, oh shoot, that's ING, you know, that's cool. Who are these people, you know? So it was okay. I had to do other things with the pandemic. I had to. We got that good old stimulus check, so. I always wanted to do lashes. I've always wanted to do lashes.
Really?
Yes. And I just, one, I didn't have the time to do it. And two, and it's an investment, you know. So when we got that check, I was like, girl, it's time to invest. And I went to school on a 101 session with an instructor, and she helped me, and she was super dope, really nice lady. And that's how I kicked it off, and I got certified to do lashes, and it was only supposed to do like 2 days out of the week lashing, you know, maybe 2 clients here and there. Well, in that time, that's when Agree to Disagree came out. So when I put out that I was doing lashes, oh my God, it was, you know what? Like, it was the most coolest thing. It was cool. I was doing lashes. Girls were booking appointments with me to meet me and for me to sign their vinyl.
So they were like private meet and greets and get your lashes.
I'm the coolest chicks ever about doing lashes.
Do you still do lashes?
Here and there I do, I have my clients that, like, since I started, that they still come to me, and my good old faithful clients that come. But now I'm too busy to do it. I just wanted to do it and
to say I did it.
To did it. And Teeth was another one that I did too. It was easy. I was like, I could do this.
What did you do? What else?
Teeth whitening.
Teeth whitening. Oh, teeth whitening. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I have during the pandemic. It's so cool that you're seeing that, right? Like you tried it, you wanted to do it, and you tried it because one of the things which is so crazy, like opposite than what I usually do, is I wanted to learn how to do nails.
Okay. Yeah.
So during the pandemic, I went and bought all the stuff to do nails, and then there I was during the pandemic, like, you know, practicing on doing nails, but I got so busy, and then I got frustrated because I wasn't catching it, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, at least I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know the frustration because I was like, you know, I get my lashes done, and that's what inspired me to, I can do that, you know, but now getting really into it, I was like, okay, I didn't think it was going to be like this. Like, finding the different sizes of lashes, the length of them, and all that, I'm like, whoa, I did not think the different brands, the different glue, the different, you know, it's just, it's tedious work, but it is a lot of work, you know. You have to have a lot of patience for all of that. So you could be lashes for first, you know, doing lashes for a girl. So, but like I said, in the time of lashing, I met some really cool people that we ended up becoming like best friends. So I had my group of girls. Shout out to my girls, Dee, Birdie, JoJo, Judy, Madi. Like they're so cool, and you know, and it's so crazy because like you would think like, especially for entertainers and singers, like you would think we have a lot of people around us, which is true. We have a lot of, you know, a lot of people, but when you have like your core friends with you, like that's like, this is my group, you know, and like that's definitely like my girl group right there. That's my girl group.
I think it's always a challenge, right? Like I you know, because like I was recently having a conversation about this, and they're like, Crystal, you are so like quiet. You know, they're like, why are you so quiet, like with people? And I think naturally I'm just like a super quiet person. Like I'm a, what do you call it? Like an analyzer or people watcher type of thing. I'm just like, you know, screening the room. But for me, it's kind of like, I don't know, in a way, I feel like not only that, but it's like, especially like when you're a public figure, right? Like, and I say public because like, you know, we're on camera, we're, you know, you're performing, I'm doing my, you know, like lives and stuff like that. Like people are watching us. And for me, it's like, you have to also be careful of who you let in your life like that, because, you know, it's personal stuff that you don't want out there, you know, sometimes, you know, they're looking like very close. You allow them into your life so close that they know things about you. And then it's like, at the end of the day, you know, we still have, you know, like an image to uphold, right? And I feel like it's always scary, like, who do you allow into your life and then who do you not? And then not only that, but knowing that they have pure intentions to really want to get to know you as a person and not the convenience that comes with that, knowing them.
Yeah, and I think that's why, like I said, I've always had friends around, but never like a group of girls, because I was kind of always like I've always stuck to my family, my mom, my sisters, you know.
Yeah.
So when I started lashing and then I met these girls, I was like, I like them. Like, those are cool. And then, you know, they were like down. They were down to like, okay, friend, I got you. No worries, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm the baby in the group, so my sister is older. And they're married, they have kids, like, you know what I mean? It's a different environment when I'm with them. Like, I am like, oh, they're like my aunties that I've never had, you know? They're like older sisters for me, you know? Or they say certain things, I'm like, okay, mom, because I'm like, but we all get along. And those are my friends. They're down.
I think that's so dope. Like to find people like that in your life that you know, that you can just like be yourself with and not have to worry about like, I have to pretend to be a certain way.
Depend on too, and I'm not saying like to come out with you, but to depend on them to give you good advice for certain things. Yeah. And, you know, and I look up to them. I'm like, I love my friends. We talk every day. There's this app called Marco Polo. And it's like messages that you could, like live messages that you could send out to each other. So every morning we say, "Good morning, girls," and we're there with our coffee and we drink our coffee.
With your guys' cafecito?
Yeah.
That's so dope.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to have friends like that, and you know.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so cool. And so being in the like, you know, performing and all that, like, what has it gotten you into? Because I know you have done music with different recording artists. You want to talk about that, like venturing off and doing, like, you know, who you work with? I know you've traveled.
I've done music with Joey Quinones. So in my first album, he pretty much produced that album for me. Joey Quinones, if you guys don't know Joey Quinones, he is the singer of The Sinceres. He's amazing. The man plays like all kinds of instruments, and we did a couple of duets with each other. I Want You Around, he's on that track, and we did an original song called oh my gosh, what is that song called? How Long. And that's also pressed on a vinyl as well. And if you go like on my Instagram, there's a little logo of us, and it's a heart, and it's myself, and it's Joey. So, I did like a cartoon thing for that song of How Long. So, and that Joey was a really cool experience to work with him. Different, like he's just different, you know, very raw and very talented. You know, we spent a lot of time in the studio together, especially writing songs. And I remember telling him, I'm like, all your songs are so sad. Like, why are you so sad? You know? So, well, maybe I'm a sad person. I'm like, oh God, you know. But he was really cool to work with. And I worked with Pepe Marquez. And he's so cool. Pepe is just like, he's super laid back. He's like, he gives me uncle vibes that like, okay, mija, you know, you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And super talented. His producer, Carlos, is amazing as well. They're just really nice people. And I've talked with Pepe a lot. And it's so crazy to see like the amount of followers that he has. I'm like, I always joke with him because I'm like, Pepe, all the viejitos want you. He's just like a chick magnet. I'm like, Pepe, like I can't believe you. And he's like, oh, you know, and he's so charming and like he's just so cool. And to sing together, like, and people like us together a lot. They want us to do another track together, which we will pretty soon. But it's always Pepe and Miriah, or a lot of people ask for Joey, like, oh, Joey, Miriah. And they're just both fun people to hang out with. And then I had the opportunity to work with Lighter Shade of Brown. That was a whole other experiment. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. You know, I just couldn't believe it. And first, I was only supposed to just make up a hook with that song, and I literally wrote that hook on the 605 freeway on my way to do someone's lashes.
Wow.
You know, like, okay, so my first song that I ever wrote was The Gem. First song ever. I'm not a, well, now I am, but at the time, like, I don't know, I didn't know how to write songs. It took a really heartbreak to write that song, and it took that out of me. So when they told me to write the summer song, I was like, dang, I don't know how I'm going to do this, you know? And I don't know, it just came to me on the freeway, and I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget, and the medley of it, and yeah, I did it, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'm set. And then my boss hit me up, and he was like, I need you to write a verse too. And I'm like, oh gosh. So here I am thinking of a verse for that song as well, and we got into the studio, and it just started flowing, and that was a cool experience to just hang out with them, to hang out with Lattice Brown. It's so crazy, like here I am, I was a little girl listening to Lattice Brown, and here I am in the studio with them next to me, like, it's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing.
And you just did a podcast with them, right? I saw that on YouTube.
Podcast.
Yeah.
A podcast with them, and they're just cool people to hang out with.
Yeah.
Their vibes are really nice. Like, they're always good vibes. They're always a good time, and they're just fun. And I remember they invited me out to the Michelada Festival at the Santa Anita track place. And they're like, hey, Miriah, you want to come on and sing our song? Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll let you know when it's coming up. Okay, cool. And then Rob was like, hey, do you want to sing Sunday afternoon? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. You stay on stage. And it was the most coolest thing. Like, for me, just to sing that song with them is just like a legendary thing. Like, I'm never ever gonna forget that moment of like everybody just singing the song and the energy coming back to you is just like, wow, that is so dope. I mean, it's not my song, but still, just
being a part of that.
Yes, I was like, dude. So now every time I go and sing with them, they're like, you know, you're gonna sing that song. You know. Like, all right. So it's an honor. It's an honor just to be up there and to sing one of their greatest songs on stage, and it's cool. Like, I love it. I absolutely love hanging out with them. So that, and of course, I've worked with the legendary Barbara Mason. We worked together, and I will never, ever forget that moment of meeting her. Actually,
tell us the details.
Talking. Okay, so I did a cover of Changing, and then I did a cover of You Never Loved Me at All. And originally, it was supposed to be a medley. Like, they were supposed to put those two songs together and mesh them, okay? So I went into the studio, and I did Change Me, and I did a cool job with that. But when I went back to do You Never Loved Me at All, like, I sang the hell out of that song. And so Cazelle, my boss, was like, well, we could just forget about, the medleys because you outsang the other one. So let's just make them as singles. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I was like, are you sure? Because this is Barbara Mason that we're talking about. This is, first of all, she's still alive. She's still doing her thing.
You're like, I don't want no problems. problems.
Oh, no. I was so scared. I was like, are you guys sure? Like, what if she doesn't like it? Or what if she doesn't approve? Or, like, I'm kind of stepping on toes right now. Like, no. Like, this is going to be good. I'm like, ugh. Okay, whatever. I trust you guys. So we did the release of the track, and then I did a video as well, which the video came out beautifully. Concrete does all my videos for me, and that man is just really talented. And so when it got released, my manager at the time hit me up, and he was like, hey, I want to talk to you. I'm like, who? He's like, don't worry about it. Just answer the phone. It's a blah, 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 blah area code. I'm like, okay. So, and I was getting ready to do lashes. I'm always doing lashes. So the person calls me, and I'm like, hello? And she's like, is this Miriah? And I'm like, yes. She's like, this is Miss Mason. I'm like, oh, hell. I'm like, Barbara Mason? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I was in my room, and I got so stuck, and my mom, once again, my mom comes in, like, telling me, what's wrong with you, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, she's like, oh, her eyes got all big, and she was like, oh my God, and like, it was the most coolest thing, and she was like, I just want to tell you that, I heard your songs, and I just want to say thank you so much for covering my song and doing justice to that song. And she's like, I wish I could sing it like you. I'm like, wow. She's like, I like how you did it. You did it in your own version. You didn't copy me. You didn't do it exactly the way I sang it. You did it your way.
Yeah.
And I love it. You did a great job. And I saw your video, and thank you for doing your video and looking good and looking classy, and you don't look crazy, you look good. And she's like, I want to say thank you. And I think it meant more for her because she wrote "Change Me" and "You Never Love Me at All."
Oh, so wow. Yeah.
Like, we're so used to listening to "Yes, I'm Ready" and "That Girl" and all that stuff, but I believe those songs were written for her. So "Change Me, You Never Love Me at All" was something that came out of her. And I asked her, I was like, well, how did you, like, what inspired you to write "You Never Love Me at All"? And she said, I wrote that song because I wanted to get the feelings of the girls that have, you know, been through heartbreak. And I was like, so you weren't going through heartbreak? She's like, no, I just, you know, did it for the girls that were going through a heartbreak.
Wow.
So she gave me nothing but great advice about, you know, music, about people, about money, about, you know, stuff like that. And because she was singing at a very young age. I think she was like, I want to say like 15 or 16.
Wow.
So yeah, I was just in awe when she called me, and we talked for over like an hour.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
she was like, I really hope we could, because she's not from here. I think she's like from Philly or something. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I really hope we could, because it was during the pandemic when that happened. So I really hope when the pandemic is over that we can share the stage together, because I love me my Latinos. That's what she said.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it happened. It happened last year.
Wow. What an amazing experience.
Long Beach Arena. And when I first met her was at Steven's Steakhouse in Commerce, because she was doing her rehearsal time. And I just had the front seat, because she did her whole rehearsal on her time slot. So, and she put on a damn show.
Wow.
I was like, she's rehearsing. She put on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet her. She was really sweet, super nice, and took pictures with her, and I got to see her sing and it was cool because it was just myself and my team and just a couple of the people and the band, and that was it. So
you had your own private show.
I got to see the first show. And,
I love Barbara Mason. I love my favorite song, I think, from her. Well, actually, those two songs are two of my favorites from her, but the one that always trips me out is her comeback to Shirley from His Woman to You.
Okay.
And then she made another one talking about that the man that she thought she was in love with wasn't even a man at all.
Like a fun one, right?
Yes.
I don't know what to do. Oh my God.
Yes.
There's another man.
Beating my time. Yeah. And it's just so crazy. I love playing that. I always play it for people. I'm like, do you know this? I feel all bad. I'm like, did you know this song? And then thinking back with this one.
That's funny. When I first heard that song, I was like, is she talking about what I think she's talking about?
She sure was ahead of her time, girl.
She's just a little trippy.
Exactly, So I love, I love Barbara Mason. It brings so many nostalgic, I would bump her a lot in high school. She was the first girl that I, girl singer that I had just discovered at that time when I was in high school. And it's just her voice as well. And then, just her music or her songs were so relatable, right? They're just so I love her, Barbara Mason, for sure. And, with all this stuff, being able to experience that, being able to be on stage with her and all these artists, what do you feel continues to inspire you to be hey, I'm going to continue to, be the best artist that I can be? What drives you?
Recently, my son started playing music, so it's really motivated me to do better and to really get involved in performing live and stuff like that, and putting out new music, because now my son is into music and I want him to see, hey, my mom's doing it, And if he does somehow pursue music when he gets a little bit older, I want to be the example for him of saying like, hey, my mom did it, and I think I could do it too. So,
does he sing or play?
He does both.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, so he just started playing piano back in February. So it really hasn't been that long of him playing. And when I say this is God-given talent, that this is God gave him this gift. Because the little boy is only 10 years old, and he plays that keyboard like no one's business. Like, you know, and I'm like, baby, you haven't really been playing that long, you know?
Yeah.
And memorizing music and stuff like that, you know, hearing it by ear, because that's what he's doing. He's listening to it instead of reading sheet music. He's listening to it and playing it on the piano. And I'm just like, first of all, how come I didn't get this? How come I didn't get this talent?
Yeah.
So, you know, and I'm just like, I mean, he came out, he started playing later in his age, because I was 7 and he's 10, but I was like, dang, you know, and here we are again. My family and I were like, we need to do something. I got him a teacher, and even his teacher was like, she's doing really good.
Wow.
Really good.
It's just in the genes. Yeah, it's in the genes. So, yeah.
Singing too, like I catch him singing, and I'm just like, God, his pitch is so good, and he's got a natural vibrato, like, you know, he's so good. But I'm like, babe, how come you don't sing? He's like, he's in the shy. He's a little shy.
Yeah.
You know, being behind the piano, no problem. He can play for you. But when it comes to singing, he's a little shy. So I wanna push him like the way my mom did and push me, but I think I want to be a little bit more gentle with him, with, you know, doing what he wants to do. So, but at some point, I know he's gonna be like, oh, this is what I want to do, you know.
Yeah.
And I want to be the example for him, and just to let him know, like, hey, you know, even though it gets a little tough sometimes, but you have family support. Like, I support you, my family supports you, and you could do it, you know. And if it wasn't for my family support and my mom and, you know, my siblings of pushing me and telling me you could do it, then I don't think I would be here now, you know, doing what I'm doing. And it really helps when your family helps you out and supports you, you know.
For sure.
So I want to do that for him, and he's my motivation to keep on doing it and putting out music and continue singing. So
that's so awesome. Can you imagine when he's older, like, to be able to sing with your son? That's gonna be awesome.
So I have a band, and, you know, I go through musicians here and there sometimes, and I'm just like, Josiah, can you just learn my stuff?
One day, girl, one day, for sure. Wow. Well, that's so awesome. Do you want to have any more?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm still pretty young. I don't know. We'll see. So, like, number one, I'll be starting all over because my son's dead.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
I'm really busy. And, like, and I think 10 years old is, like, the perfect age, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the perfect age for kids, you know, they tell you what they want, tell them what they need, tell us what they need, and, you know, it's not so hard as, like, when he was a baby. It was really hard leaving him when he was a baby. And, like, once again, my mom was like, because that was my first thing when I started singing again. I was like, what am I going to do with Josiah? She's like, don't worry about it. I'll watch him for you.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. And until this day, she's still watching him.
Yeah. That's so cool. And now he's a little bit older now, right? So now he's getting front row seating of, you know, like the background stuff of what it takes. So he's going to have a lot of experience and knowledge.
So I've taken him with me to my gigs and stuff, but most of the time he's here with my mom, or my mom's watching him for me, and only because, like, you know, it could get a little busy, you know, and when, especially if I have my dad with me, because then I have to be the leader of the band as well, you know? Yeah. So it's kind of hard to, like, take care of him, take care of them, take care of, you know what I mean? It's a little bit too much. So, but I took him with me last year, or 2 years ago, to Visalia, and we did a show out there, and I took him, and I took my mom, took my family, and that was the first time he had really seen me sing on stage with a band. Because I was doing that. And he was the most cutest thing. So he sat right in front and watched me. And as soon as we were done with our sound check, he came up to me and he was like, "Wow, Mom, you're really good."
Oh, so cute.
That was
wow. Such a proud moment for you, right?
Oh my gosh. And I was like, "Oh, thanks, babe. Like, thank you." So during the show, I brought him up with me.
Wow.
And oh my God, he was such a ham. He was all waving behind everybody. And there was a lot of people. at least 1,000 people there at that.
Wow.
God,
wow.
I had to him like big cheesy face, just so happy and just waving at everybody and, you know, smiling. And he got off stage and he was like, "Oh my God, that was so cool," you know?
Yeah.
So that was the first time he'd ever seen me like do my thing on stage. And
what does he say? What does he say, like, you know, like in private, like when you guys are alone, like about you singing? Like, does he love what you do?
Yeah, he does. He does. Like I said, I've taken him with me. And he's like, "So, are you gonna bring me on stage?"
That's what he's worried about.
But yeah, he'll ask me questions like, "Oh, you gonna go record, or where at? Or do you have to work tonight?" You know, like stuff like that. Or what show is it? Or, you know, my little nephew. Now that's my number one fan because he'll be saying, "Oh, this is my Auntie Miriah. Oh, this is my Auntie Miriah." Oh, and I catch him. I catch him singing my songs. He's only 8, but he'll play my music on YouTube. I'm like, "Okay, thanks, babe. You're giving me my views." I mean, my nephew is so funny. Like, he's like, "Hey, Miriah, Auntie Miriah, I like that song, Daydreamer. I like it, Daydreamer." Beautiful.
That's so cool. Do you have anything new coming up? Anything that you're working on? Anything you want to share about? Or
so, for music-wise, I do have some original music that I'm working on, and hopefully we could release that really soon. I do plan on singing with Pepe Marquez and doing a couple of tracks with him. I have a lot of performances coming up, a lot of show dates. Like, it's crazy. I'm going to be so busy in this month and in August. It's just like a non-stop thing. But the cool thing is that I'm able to bring my band with me. And I think that's like my new goal. The new goal is to, you know, travel and take my band with me because I'm so used to singing with tracks. And it's a whole different vibe when I do take my band. It's live music, and you can't go wrong listening to live music, you know? It's just a whole different energy, a whole different vibe. To me, it when I sing with my band, it gives me like a whole different like energy. You know, just like because I have my band backing me up, and it's just I'm more like in your face when I'm with them, you know, and it's so fun to sing with them. So yeah, that's the new goal, is to perform with my band and to get out of LA and perform more. And I actually do have a couple of performances that I'm going to be hitting in NorCal. So the first one is in Fresno.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Santa Cruz, and then the third one is in San Jose.
Okay, so, nice.
We're going to be doing that. That's August 22nd to the 24th.
Okay.
So, yeah, that first one is Fulton 55, Santa Cruz. I've never been to Santa Cruz.
It's beautiful.
So I'm excited.
You're going to love it.
At Mozali?
I don't know. I just been to the beach, like to the boardwalk, and I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then San Jose is at the Ritz. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that. And then we just booked a venue in Tucson, Arizona. in September.
Arizona, okay.
And then the September 14th in Vegas.
Nice,
At the
nice.
Swan side. So we're booking places, and I believe sometime in October I'm going to be performing at the Yamava Casino.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
so they could get all this information, like as far as like concrete dates and all that, like on your social media, like where best, like on Instagram or?
Yeah, so you can look under Miriah Avila on my Instagram. That's MIRIAH_Avila AVILA. And I'm pretty much on Instagram like than I am on Facebook. But you can find all my dates. I just posted a show date, like a tour of 2024, from today and the next couple of gigs that I'm going to be doing. The next big gig this month is the East Side Story.
Yes. You're going to be there?
I'll be there. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be there. I believe that's July 27th. And that's going to be a big ass show.
It is.
Mamas are going to be there. Everyone and their mamas are going to be there. So
yeah, I'm
excited to do that one. And that's the big one that's coming up for July. And I do a lot of private gigs and, weddings and stuff like that. And I enjoy doing that too for people. And it's just a whole different personal thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll come and sing, especially for quinceañeras. I don't know what it is, but maybe because it's, they're growing into a woman, a young adult, that I'm kind of like, oh, I get to be part of that,
Yeah, for sure. It's a special moment, special day that they'll never forget, for sure.
Yeah, and the other one that I do, and sometimes I do it when the pandemic would hit, and a lot of funeral services that was happening, and oh my God, I was like, why do I do this to myself? I was singing at a lot of services, but you know what? I look at it as in God gave me this gift to shine light on people that need it, whatever for music. And in a situation like that, if my voice is able to comfort people that are in need, especially losing somebody, then why the hell not? I can do it. It's not gonna do anything. It's only 5 minutes of my time to sing a song. So I was doing a lot of those during the pandemic, and the first time I was like, why the hell did I agree to this? I don't even know these people, and I'm crying.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like music brings healing into your life,
Right.
Especially I could imagine just, going through something like that, and then it does. Music is very healing for your soul, and I feel like your voice, right? Just to be so selfless to say this might be uncomfortable for me as a person, but being selfless enough to say, but I know that my talent can help them in their time of need, here you go. Yeah. That's awesome of you, because I know it could be uncomfortable. Like you said, I don't even know these people. I don't know, to, be hurting the way they are. But that's so beautiful. And that just means that you're a beautiful soul to be able to give of yourself that way,
I appreciate it, just say appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming out and doing this, and yeah, it is hard, but it's also it's comforting for them too. So,
yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
As long as it helps, it fits in my schedule, I'll do it,
That's so cool.
And I will always remember that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for my services, and thank you so much. That's cool. That's really cool. So, yeah, I have a lot coming up. Gonna continue being busy and somehow get in the studio and lay out everything that I need to lay out. My boss just opened up a lounge in Rialto called the Souldies Lounge.
I heard about that.
So congratulations to DJ Cazell.
Yes, congratulations.
So that's gonna be the new spot. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be singing there often.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool because it's connected to the studio. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because I was doing big things for IMG and for brand. So
yeah, we got to get him on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
for
most
sure.
definitely. Yeah,
Well,
so
that's
I have
exciting.
Yeah,
So
I have
much
a lot
going
to
on.
say. Oh my gosh, I have a lot. That's just to name a few, one of the bigger ones. But I will be in San Jose sometime in August as well. I'm excited to travel to to Las Vegas and Arizona because I don't get to do much out there, So
Yeah.
it should be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited and I'm so ready to do it.
Yeah.
My bucket list is to somehow get my ass out to Japan.
To Japan, the culture, right? Are you saying because I know
The culture, and
Yeah.
they're like so in love with us and our culture. So I think we would do very well out there in Japan. So that is the goal. That's on my bucket list of my music, is to go out there.
Well, I hope that you're able to accomplish that and able to travel to Japan because I think that would be a dope experience for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, Miriah, I don't want to take more of your time. Thank you so much. I know, girl, we've been on the phone. I'm like, I feel like I could talk another hour with her. But I want to thank you so much for just giving me your time and giving all our listeners your time and just connecting with us. And, you're so relatable. And I think that's what sets you apart, that not only are you relatable, but super humble enough to just give even a podcast like us an opportunity to say, hey, yeah, of course, that's what sets you apart. And I feel like, that energy, you're able to transmit it through your music, through your videos, through everything you have. And you can definitely feel that. And I just want to thank you for that because that's so important, to be a person of, like we were saying earlier, like a public figure, but still be down to earth and humble and still want to connect with your followers, so thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome, and it goes a long way, so you're very, very welcome. This was so much fun. We talked a lot. I talked a lot.
No, well, thank you so much again, and do you have any last words before we end?
Just a big thank you to everyone that's been supporting my music, my label IMG, and just showing me so much love and support. It means a lot to me, and I hope to catch you guys at one of my shows. And please come up to me and say hello and take a picture. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Of course, it was an honor. All right, guys, so that concludes episode number 10 with Miriah Avila, girl.